everybody, it's a special episode of Classic Gaming Brothers. I'm Zach.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Barry.
And we are the Classic Gaming Brothers and Barry, and welcome to the Premium Edition Lounge.
Ooh.
You're familiar with the Indie Dev Lounge. It's our occasional sub-series that we do on Wednesdays. Well, we have a whole brand new sub-series we're doing, and it's the Premium Edition Lounge, where we just do it with Barry, no one else. It's sponsored in part by Premium Edition and listeners like you. Well, we're really happy to have Barry back with us today. He's joined us before, obviously, to talk about Premium Edition games and their various releases, and we are excited to have him on. So, Barry, how you doing?
Been busy, crazy time right now, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm just honored to be back. Always love being with you guys and just hanging out. And we were supposed to start recording this over 30 minutes ago, and we just shot the shit for that time period because it's just so much fun just catching up.
Oh yeah, that's what we do best. Seth and I are really good at not recording on time.
That's a staple.
To be fair, it's 8:30, and that's early for us. But Zach and me, we're still writing our notes at 8:30.
Yeah, sometimes we haven't even started yet. But no, we're always happy to have Barry on. So Barry, last time I saw you was at Retro World Expo.
Yep.
Which was a fun time, and it was great seeing you again. You did a really good panel, I thought. That was on Saturday?
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Yeah, it was cool. And you talked about just kind of a lot of the stuff that you've covered before, I think, in our episodes with you, going over kind of the publishing process, what it's like to work with devs and such. But do you want to tell us a bit about your time at Retro World Expo? Anything surprise you about this year?
Always a pleasure to be there. They're great hosts, and it's always a great show. It was wonderful getting to see you, and I wanted to catch your panel on Sunday, but we got swarmed. I did not expect the swarm on Sunday. I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to do this, and we just got swarmed, which was a good thing. It was glad that we could at least spread the news and get some love for these indie developers that we work with. But the panel was great. I got to do it with my buddy Joe, and we had some really cool people come in, and I just had a lot of fun. The show itself was one of our better shows this year, just in terms of responses, and just everybody that came by was just so friendly. They're just really interested to know what was going on, and we did a raffle this year for the first time, and it was like insane. People just kept crowding, and people like free stuff. Who would have known?
Hey, free is the Classic Gaming Brother.
That's right.
That's like our favorite thing in the world.
It's a family motto. Free is for me.
Free is for me.
Except in Latin. Freedom is for me some.
Before we get into today's episode and talking about you guys over at Premium Edition Games, what you're bringing to us, what have you been playing lately, Barry? What's been your go-to game?
My go-to game that I just finished a couple days ago has been the Legend of Heroes: Trails from Zero. I love the Legend of Heroes series and the Trails from series, and it's I never got to play these because they didn't officially come here, and I'm not one to get the fan translations and digital versions. I did that back in high school, but there's too many other things to play that I will patiently wait for an official translation. So finally got it, and was well worth the wait. What an awesome game, awesome series. But I had originally planned to finish it a couple weeks ago, and due to everything going on with Premium, I have been so behind, and was finally able to finish. And now I'm, just waiting for Mario and Rabbids, which comes out tomorrow as of the time of this recording. By the time you're actually listening to this, I'm probably have beaten it already. So for future me, I hope I enjoyed it. And if you are listening to this and go, oh, I already played that, I hope you enjoyed it too.
Nice. Speaking of Mario, what'd you think of the movie trailer?
Oh, loved it. I know so many people are like, oh, boycott because of Chris Pratt's voice. It was like 2 lines. It's not enough for me to make any judgment.
Yeah.
And it's out of context. And I really need more than that. It was a teaser. I'm not getting the pitchforks out and the flames and all that stuff that some people are. I thought the graphics were great. A lot of people like Illumination, but I like Illumination movies. Maybe I like dumb movies sometimes, but I do enjoy their movies. And I thought their animation was amazing. I want to see a Mario game with that animation now.
Yeah.
What are your opinions about his butt, though?
I don't care. I don't understand what this fascination is about characters gaining or losing butts. If that is your number one issue right now in life, is that Mario has less of an ass, then I envy the hell out of you, because your life has to be fantastic if that is your big concern.
He needs something to cushion when he does his ground pounds, right?
I
He's
mean,
gonna be in so much pain.
even the thing with the voice, a lot of people say, oh, like Charles Martinet, like that's his voice. And growing up in the 80s, that wasn't his voice. That wasn't his voice
No.
until 96. So I'm
Yeah.
used to the Super Mario Super Show and Mario 3 cartoon and Mario World, Bob Hoskins with the movie, and of course Captain Lou. And
Yeah.
like I'm used to the Italian American Brooklyn style, accent. I'm not used to Charles's high pitched Italian, accent as much, even though I am obviously old games have it. To me, this almost sounded like going back to the roots. And I really think this is an origin story. It feels like this is
Yeah.
his first
Yeah.
time in the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe he goes down a pipe just like in the beginning of the Super Show. And I'd be fine with that. Maybe he picks up the voice going forward. Again, it's just too little information. It's too quick to judge. Just let things be and see afterwards, because everyone just jumps either on a bandwagon or to conclusions so quickly without giving anything a chance
Right.
anymore.
And it's not like it's when Sonic was teased and it was an affront to nature.
That's different.
Yeah.
That we had a whole
right.
trailer for that. It wasn't just a
Right.
tease.
At least that was fixed. But Mario, yeah, it was fine. Like it looks like it's gonna be a fun Mario movie. It does unlock the Super Smash Brother, multiverse, right? We're gonna have Mario, Pikachu, Sonic.
Well, they did do what Nintendo Pictures now, so
Yeah.
they're taking this
yeah.
seriously. So maybe we'll see Zelda and Metroid and Kid Icarus and
I want Star Fox the movie.
Star Fox.
We're not a movie podcast as much as we could be, but do you want to remind again our listeners just what your role is at Premium Edition Games? We might have some new listeners coming in.
Sure. So I'm one of the founding members at Premium Edition Games. So I'm also head of customer relations. I'm head of developer outreach, and I wear other hats doing many various things, such as writing the direct and making sure that came to fruition, which we'll be talking about here shortly. But always up for chatting, and if you have any questions, we, our Discord, social media, hit us up. And if it's not me, it'll be Frank. Frank does our social media. Great guy, great friend. He'll answer you, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah, I know you've talked before about how you wear many hats. So yeah, you very recently did your direct.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few weeks ago, I think, as of recording of this episode. But yeah, what's coming about for Premium Edition Games?
Sure. So we announced Series 5. So for those that don't know, we release our games in series. Really, series are based on seasons. So this is the fall season, and the fall season contains 4 games, but we're broken up, in 2 and 2. So the first 2 games that we revealed or the first 2 games that are out for pre-order right now, as of the time of this recording and when this goes live, but they were the last 2 games we revealed, are partnerships with Screenwave Media and their Retroware gaming division. We're really, really excited to be working with these guys. These guys are awesome. And they got 2 games. One is Love 3 from Fred Wood, and this is a precision platformer that the graphics look like the old Commodore, Atari, Sega Master System, like old school stick figure type. But don't let that fool you. The game is very challenging, a lot of fun, and it's got all the levels from Love 1 and 2 included. So you're getting a massive amount of content all on the card. And the second game is Eagle Island Twist, which is actually 2 games in one, both games on the card. Eagle Island is like a Metroidvania style with a procedurally generated rooms, and Eagle Island Twist, you're getting it's kind of a play off the main game, but you get like a Mario 3 style world map, and each level has different themes, from Smash Brothers to racing to platforming. It's a little more on the casual side. Tons of fun, and you're getting both of these games. They are both available right now for pre-order, but that ends, I believe, on November 6th. We do have the standards, which are 40, and the retro editions with a few extra bonus goodies are 60.
Yeah, Love 3 looks awesome. I was watching the direct and watching the gameplay of that, and I hadn't heard of it before, but it kind of gives me I don't know. There's like I was getting a little VVVVVV
Yes.
vibes from it. Not necessarily in terms of the gameplay, but just in the like platforming elements and the puzzles and stuff like that.
Well, Fred has worked on some games you might have heard of, like Undertale and Deltarune.
Just a little title called Undertale.
This is like his solo project, his passion project. So we're really happy that we can bring that out in physical form for him. And he's awesome to work with, and it's such a fun platformer.
And of course, I know you also talked a bit about a game that you referenced the last time you were on here, which was Raji.
Yeah, so the second half.
Yes, yeah, the second half of Series 5.
Yeah, so the second half of Series 5 5 is coming in November, so shortly after this airs. And that's 2 games. It's Raji and Ancient Epic, the Enhanced Edition, and They Bleed Pixels. So They Bleed Pixels is a precision platformer with a combat mechanic. It is a one-button combat system where it's like Smash Brothers, so you push the button to attack, and then you push the button up to do a different attack, and down a different attack. A lot of fun. You string the combos along to build up a meter to give yourself checkpoints. Each level is challenging, and you will need those checkpoints to get through. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of traps. Some of the stuff you can do is just amazing, and you feel like invincible when you pull off some of these chain combos and you juggle an enemy into a spinning saw blade, and you feel like, yeah, nothing can touch me, and you make a jump the wrong way and you land into spikes, and you go, oh, well, that was short-lived. Great soundtrack, great story, cinematic story, really perfect for this time of year, and we were really excited to finally bring this game out. Spooky Squid Games did a phenomenal job. And then, of course, Raji, which we did talk about last time because it was our tease in our last direct, because we couldn't keep it silent anymore. We just really wanted to let the world know. We were so excited about Raji, and we're so honored now that we were able to really show it off. And Raji actually went through a lot of changes in the script, probably the most changes, because the developer, they're so passionate about this project. And for those that don't know, Raji is like an isometric God of War style action game set with Indian mythology. It's just a phenomenal game. And this is the Enhanced Edition. They upped the graphics, the combat, the AI, added languages, a lot of other refinements. Like, this is the definitive version to play this. But the developer, they're so passionate about it that they keep adding stuff. So the game was originally, the retro was supposed to originally come with an art book, and it was like a mini SNES style manual. We even announced it that way. In the script, it was that way. And then they, came back and said, it's over 100 pages at this point. We just keep adding to it. And we're like, we can't put that in the retro box anymore. Like, it's just too big. So now the other idea that they were doing, and they were doing this anyways, we were going to do them standalone with little shadow puppets, because the game story is told that way. So now the retro edition comes with Raji's shadow puppet, and we will have more. So this way you can kind of create your own adventure. But the art book is looking to be around 132 pages or so at this point. Like, with concept art, and as it's forward and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's gorgeous. So we will have that in a special package. We will announce that more on that shortly, or it might be announced at this point. But that's one of those things where it wasn't intended to be that way, but the developers are just so passionate, and we don't want to tell the developers no. We want them to absolutely make the physical version that they wanted to do. And yeah, we're really excited about this one coming. And again, both of these get standard and the retro as well.
And of course, all of these come with challenge cards, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to remind our listeners exactly how this challenge card works?
Sure. So each of our releases comes with a challenge card, and we ask all of our developers to please create a challenge that they want the gamers to accomplish. And should you do that, you share it on social media, you tag us, you send us an email at our support with the link to where you post it, your full name, your address, as well as your order number or wherever you purchase it. If it's not from us, like you get it at a show or something, we will send you a physical patch for free as our way of saying congratulations. These patches are limited. They are not produced in high numbers, so it is a first come, first serve. So if patches run out, and even if you complete the challenge, you'll get a congratulations email, but unfortunately no patch. So we do try and encourage that, because we want our games to be played. Every one of our releases is a game we at the whole team, we personally love and we stand behind, and we do not want it sitting on a shelf still sealed. We want it to be enjoyed and played and loved just like we love it, and just like the developers love it.
Very cool. Very cool. And out of curiosity, have you run out of patches on any of the, I assume you have, on some of the past releases?
Didn't. We actually haven't. We've come close. And the reason for that is, for Series 1, we didn't know what to order, right? So we ordered a little bit more. So we have a little more Series 1 patches. And then when we ordered Series 2, we looked at what was accomplished already for Series 1, which was a lot. And we ordered that many for Series 2. And then we looked at Series 2, and we said, well, we didn't get as many for Series 2 as Series 1 because there were tougher challenges for Robot and for Demon's Tier. So we said, well, let's order even less for Series 3, and Series 4 has even less. It's one of those cases where we're once we find that real happy medium, we're gonna stick with that. But each series is actually getting progressively less, just because we're trying to find where we really want to go with it. We don't want to over order.
You still want to have like boxes of patches.
No.
Either, right? Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be like 100 or less at this point, like on some of these patches. And a lot of the ones we do have, even though we still have them currently, they are running low because they're by the time we ordered it, we've still been getting every day we get patch submissions because we're doing shows, people are buying them. One of the things we announced is a robot named Fight because we were sold out of robot named Fight, and even though we're sold out, we still actually had some patches. But we just announced, and it's available now, a special version of Robot Named Fight, a Steelbook edition, which was announced during the direct, and that contains the same game. So it's a reprint. We did reprint. We're not a limited company, so it's a reprint, but it's the exact same cart, same version, which was complete anyway. The same manual, same challenge card, but inside the Steelbook that was previously in our retro and deluxe, with a brand new O sleeve that goes on the outside, has a cut in the front, so it looks like Fight is actually breaking through from the Steelbook and breaking through the O sleeve. It gives it like a 3D effect. Looks really cool. That is available. Very limited numbers. It was only 1,000 printed because those are an order number. And we already sold a bunch at conventions between Portland, Syracuse, and a bunch of Gamers for Gamers conventions that they've been going through. So those are dwindling. We do have a few left on the website. At least as of the time of this recording, we do. We only put 600 on the webpage. Everything else was either for damages or for conventions, and we are running low. So we've always heard, hey, where's Robot? Where's Robot? Let's do another print. We did something special. So there are there's still some patches left because it was Series 2. So we still have some because it is a tough challenge. The Glitch Realm is a tougher challenge, and we've had people who have every single patch but that one, and they've said like I've played it, I've beaten it so many times, I just give up doing it. Like they just have terrible luck. And then other people wind up getting it right when they boot the game up, and like, oh, I here's the Glitch Realm, I got it. It's like, oh
Right,
man,
yeah.
there's RNG.
At the time of recording, you have some other games available as well that are on your website that are not sold out as
Yes.
well.
So we still have a few copies of the Pigeon Dev Games collection, which was part of our first series. That's the 4 games in 1, Awesome P1 and 2, Bucket Knight, and Explosive Jake. So we still have a few copies of that left. And we have a few copies of our Series 3 titles, Cathedral, Phoenotopia Awakening, and Mighty Fight Federation. And those are all getting less. They're steadily selling. And we're looking into what we're going to reorder. But right now, the amount allocated for the webpage is getting dangerously low because we have some allocated for shows. And the website allocation is getting low. And then we also, in the direct, we talked about it, but I could tell you, like, Series 4, the first 2 titles, Wonderling and Rain Your Parade, are almost ready for release, and we hope they'll be November. The carts are done. We're just waiting on like the last, I think the CD
Excellent.
for the retro and the coasters, I think, are the last 2 items we need, and those are being worked on now, and then those should be out, so they might even be out by the time this comes recording. Rack and Ruin, which is also part of Series 4, is farther behind because we released it later. We released it in the summer versus the late spring. So that one, I believe that one production-wise is going to be happening with the first set of Series 5 because the more you order at a time, you save a little bit, which is why we actually started doing them in series because if we order, 5,000 carts from Nintendo for one game, we pay one price, but if we order 10,000, we actually save a little bit. Like they give you a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the bulk. So we could order, if we order Rack right now, we're going to pay full price. But if we wait just a few weeks, because we're trying to get the first part of Series 4 out, with the rest of Series 5, which is what we're planning on doing, we'll save a little bit and we'll be able to get them out there because everything else for it is done. It's just this way we'll be able to get it out as soon as possible. But it really hurts doing just one release on a standalone.
Right.
And the reason Rack and Ruin was a standalone is Series 5 was supposed to be in the summer. It was supposed to be Rack and Ruin and Raji. That was Series 5. But Raji got delayed because they were doing the enhanced edition and they were having complications. So they kept getting delayed with getting the patch out there, and we didn't want to submit it without the enhanced edition. That'd be stupid. But Rack and Ruin was sitting there done. And we're like, well, now it's not fair to LifeSpark, to have their game sitting there ready to go and nothing happening. So we decided to shift our focus a little bit to seasons so that we don't have one title delayed for another. We have a 2.5 month period that we can work with per series, and we decided to take Rack and Ruin and make it part of Series 4 and release it early. This way people can get it going as opposed to waiting for Raji, which isn't even part of the first part of Series 5 because
Right, yeah.
we wanted to make sure, and Screenwave was ready first, and it's just one of those cases where we just don't want one developer holding up another.
And now, speaking of games shipping soon, you guys have something that's really cool, but that is an NES game, like
Yes.
NES cartridge, Ore Body Binder's Tale. I'm just curious because when we first interviewed you, you guys were a Switch publisher and you put out an NES cartridge, which I think is awesome. How did that come about and what was it like? Like, it obviously had to be a different process.
So yes, it's a very different process because you don't
Yeah.
have to deal with Nintendo, right?
Yeah,
And the minimums are not 5,000. So with the NES, Jeff had done NES games before even premium, so he knew the process really well. And we were doing the classic series, which is still finishing up. So it's on the ESRB submission stage now. But that's finishing up, and because of that, we needed games to populate that. And one of the games was Ore Body. We talked to the developer, awesome guy, and we asked him. We said we would also like to physically publish it as an NES game, and he agreed. He's like, yeah, that sounds great. So in addition to being on the classic series, we did the physical standalone NES game, and we did put that up for pre-order during the summer. That went up with Rack and Ruin, and it's not part of a game series. It's its own thing, but that went really well. We did a silver edition, which sold out immediately, and then we put it back up and it sold out immediately again. So we have the standards. They have come in, they are assembled. We are waiting on the challenge card because our NES games have challenge cards too. We're doing that. Like, that's how crazy we are. So we're waiting on the challenge card to come in, and then once the challenge card comes in, it gets inserted into all the boxes. The boxes then get shipped to our warehouse where they will be shrink wrapped and sent out. So there's a chance that they'll start shipping end of October, realistically November, because that's all we're like, everything else is in. So realistically those will ship in November with, again, a brand new challenge, which is awesome to do. And it's just so cool to be able to do that and have an NES game, and we're absolutely looking into more NES games for like our catalog, just its own like NES series.
Did it sell better than you were anticipating?
It sold around what we anticipated because it's definitely a different market for aftermarket.
Sure.
And we also heard some people say, well, I would get it, but it's also part of the Switch collection, so I'd rather get it on Switch and play it, and that's fine. The silver edition sold extremely well because, again, it was super limited. We still get emails. Is there any chance I can get that? I was like, no, that's out. We only produced so many of those. We specifically wanted it to be a limited thing, but the rest of the cart did really well. We have people asking now, like, hey, I missed it. Is there any chance I can get it? And we will have some extra carts, just standard carts, and those will go up on the website once we ship them out for pre-orders. The whatever's left, we're gonna allocate some to the website, and we'll probably take a couple to conventions and stuff as well. As
That's cool.
we like to be able to. Some people don't buy online; they don't want to. They'd rather buy in person. So we don't want anybody to miss out. But if we do bring any, I can't imagine us bringing more than like three or four, maybe five tops, because it's not like, hey, we printed 5,000, we sold 4,500, we still have 500 or 3,500, we have 1,500 left over. We're not going to have that many left over.
But it's a great way to really extend your brand and your get into it's a different market. Like the person who buys NES games could not even own a Switch. They could just be an NES collector, and so you're kind of tapping an entirely different market that you previously wouldn't hit, which is kind of cool.
But yeah, John did a phenomenal job with the game, and we really wanted to bring it out to everybody, to all market, because he already released it on the NES with digitally, like for emulation.
Yeah.
And it was like that's available. You could download the ROM. Like, he made that available. That's his choice. But we really, for the physical collector, we really wanted to do something special for him. We felt it was a game deserving of that. And again, if you're not an NES collector and you don't have an NES but you have a Switch, that's why we also said it's also part of the classic collection that's coming soon.
You got some other things. You guys are not just expanding games. I know you have books coming out, and also you announced NPC Autosaving, the album coming out, which is a music album coming out on CD, vinyl, and a cassette style USB. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that was one of the things where they actually approached Jeff to do a part in one of the songs, and Jeff was just like, hey, do you have a publisher for it? And they're like, no, we're just doing things on our own. And he was like, let's do it, because we have experience doing CDs with our retro editions. Like, most of our games have CDs. I think almost all. I think Rain Your Parade's the first without a CD, but most of them do. So we said, we have experience with it. Let's go with it. They were keen on it. Like, they're like, sure. So we signed them to a contract. So we're we're going to be putting that out, and that will go on sale on our webpage. And again, they wanted vinyl, and we was like, let's do vinyl. And we were looking at a vinyl provider. They said, well, we also have the cassette USBs. We're like, let's do it. Let's go
That's
for it.
super
Let's go
cool,
for broke, So we are doing all that, and it just opens up doors, right? It's not like it's, oh, you're going to be doing tons of music now. Like, we've already been doing music. It's just been included with the game. But we're always open for things that touch, our souls, things that just resonate with us, things that we find cool.
Yeah.
And these are all video game music, so it's like, hey, if
Right,
this fits,
right.
let's do it. Let's go with it. And it's got some great talent included on that, and we're excited to share the world. Like, here it is. Something fun.
Well, I think it's cool because, as Seth was saying, as you do this, you guys are expanding your brand. So it's like, I think it's kind of cool, the idea that premium edition, it's like the stamp of quality, right? You buy a book, premium edition book. You buy a vinyl, premium edition vinyl.
It's about just doing our own thing. Like, no one, there's no template. This is the way this has to go. Every publisher is different. With game publisher, book publisher, whatever, music publisher. We're marching to the beat of our own drum. We just want to do cool things, and we hope, the supporters like those cool things. And we understand that, some supporters will be like, I don't care about a CD, and that's fine. Or I don't care about an NES game, and that's fine. I love They Bleed Pixels, but Raji doesn't speak to me. That's fine too. No one's gonna be 100%. Well, I shouldn't say no one. There's, but the majority of people aren't gonna be 100% in on everything we do, and that's cool. We just want to do cool things. We want to have some fun with it, and we hope that everybody just comes along for the ride with us. That's how it works.
And speaking of expanding your brand, of course, we talked about it before we started recording, but the other big announcement you guys made was that PS4 and PS5 titles are in the works,
Yes.
right?
That was teased actually back in our third direct. We played the PS5 startup sound, and so few people got it, and I loved it because we announced it back then. We announced it last year, the end of 2021. There were a few that sent DMs to me and said, "That's the start of PS5. Are you doing PS5?" And we're like, "Yeah," but like, we told them hush hush. Like, we put this information out there, but only a select club of people actually knew what it was. But now we said, all right, let's blow the door open. Let's let everybody else in on this, that we are doing PlayStation, because we're gamers on all platforms, and there's some great PlayStation. First off, there's some great PlayStation only digital titles that we want to preserve, because to us it's also about game preservation. Two, there's a lot of people that don't play on the Switch, but they play PlayStation, and they come to us all the time and they say, look, I don't have a Switch, but man, I would love to play Cathedral, for example. And Red Art Games did Cathedral on PlayStation 4. They beat us to it, because we weren't doing PlayStation at the time. And we love the guys over there. We have no competition. I bought the Red Art Games, version of Cathedral, and I told Eric, I said, hey man, congratulations, in getting a PS4 release as well. That's awesome. And what I've seen is people at that point go, oh, at least I can enjoy the game. Like, I don't have a Switch, but now I get to enjoy it. And to me, that's great. Cathedral's awesome. Everyone should enjoy that game. So we hear you. We've heard you. We didn't want to announce things too soon. We just wanted to tease, but we absolutely, are doing something unique with PlayStation. We're still putting the final touches on it. We were gonna blow the lid completely open, but I was told to scale the script back. It was too big. So we could be talking about games right now, but unfortunately we can't because we didn't reveal any. But I will say, stay tuned. We do have a State of Premium coming. The tentative plan is by the end of the year. January, I would say, would be the latest. We still need to finalize a few things, but yeah, it's something really exciting, and I hope that the PlayStation gamers really love it. I hope the Switch people, appreciate that we're giving some love as well to PlayStation. We're not abandoning Switch at all. We got some great Switch stuff coming up next year, and I hope some people don't say, oh, well, and they're just like, oh, you're just trying to get more money or whatever, like, hey, like, we're just trying to do cool things for great games and great gamers out there. Like, it's just really the passion behind it, because we love all the games we sign, and I can tell you there's some really cool stuff coming for PlayStation, and I'm excited to share that with everybody again, either later this year or early next.
Yeah, very cool.
Do you have plans on, because there are other companies that are out there, right? And they do like crazy crap that they included with like their like super high tiers where you spend like $1 million and you get like desk collecting plastic crap and stuff like that. Are you looking at like staying core to like the kind of stuff, like the stuff that you guys do? Because I'm just thinking like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Are you going to start then like making like little mini God of War stuff or stuff, whatever, just like just kind of expanding in that way.
I can honestly say, as somebody who has a lack of space, there is a lot of stuff in collector's editions or pre-order bonuses that honestly, it just, to me, it doesn't resonate with me. So when we try and do all our editions, we try our best to provide stuff that we think is cool, plus what the developer wants. Now, if something in one of our retros doesn't resonate with you, that's fine, because we still have the standard. And we put our retros, they're $20 more, so it's not breaking the bank, but we always try, like, usually it's a soundtrack, sometimes it's not, but it's always what the developer wants. Like Phoenotopia Awakening had the Chibi keychain. That's what the developer wanted, so we made it happen. With Cathedral was the hand-drawn game guide, and then sometimes like Robot and Pigeon Dev, we did the steel books, which we thought were really cool. Love steel books. So we try and do things like that, but we always offer our standards. And again, our standards, they come with the manual, they come with the inlay art, they come with the challenge card and the slip covers. So our standards are already mini collector's editions that just don't take up a lot of space. Now. So the dog tags are a pre-order bonus. They're a pre-order bonus. You could also buy our starter set, which is our original releases. That's available on the site because we didn't do that then. And then again, they are a cool thing that we decided to do. We do it for free. They don't take up a lot of room. They actually fit inside the Switch case. If you don't want to wear it, they can fit inside the Switch case. So those are the type of things. When we did our deluxe, we've done 2 deluxes thus far, Pigeon Dev Games Collection and Robot Named Fight. Those are deluxe. They came with guides, like hardcover guides, which is something that from our childhood, we really try and do that. They take up more time. They take up more space, naturally. And with Robot, it got delayed due to the pandemic and the shipping and the whole port thing, and that's one of the reasons we haven't done another deluxe like that, because when we do another deluxe, we really want to have things ready to go as soon as possible, and those are going to be very limited because of that. Also, writing a guide takes time, so we would be working on that well in advance, but we still try. So our goal is to just make sure that the games that we produce are given the treatment that the developers themselves have to be happy. They check off on everything with us. They are everything, all the items, they get the final say. And believe me, they will change, ideas, and they will change artwork last minute because they're like, oh wait, hold on, I want this or that. We do our best to accommodate them, and I'm not big into extra stuff personally. I don't think any of us are. So we're not going to see like one of those THQ $350 collector's editions, or you're not going to see these big Horizon Forbidden West where it didn't even come with the game. Like, we're not going to see that stuff from us. We're not going to take up that room. And if we do a deluxe on something, it's going to be worth it to us and to the developers. And again, if you say that's not worth it to me, that's perfectly fine. That's why we offer other versions, because we want to make sure that everybody can get the game no matter what.
Now, you alluded to Premium Edition Classic Series. I think we talked about that a bit the last time.
Yeah, that was revealed.
It has a bunch of NES indie titles.
Yeah, it's got over 10 aftermarket NES titles playable on the Switch. They are the NES versions. So it's got some bonus games that are exclusive to the physical. It's got the soundtracks to all the games you can play there. And what's really cool is the stage select screen. It's not just like a standard menu. Like our developer went all out. It's like an 80s room with the NES there, and each of the games are cartridges that you could fully rotate around and see them, and then of course you pop them in and you play. And I've been playing PC builds for it because it's not out in the Switch yet, but I've been playing PC builds to test it, and it's a lot of fun. First off, these 10 plus developers did a phenomenal job on all their games, but then shout out to Nami Tensu, who put it all together and did a phenomenal job there too, and I think people are really gonna like it.
Yeah, no, there's some great titles on there. I know Kubo 3's on there, and I've heard about Kubo 3 from a couple different people. I'm excited to try it out. And also, I don't know if this was announced yet, but the Sunshine Anthology, which I think you brought up during the Direct, that seems pretty cool. I know that I think during the Direct you mentioned that that's still coming along as the developer is still porting some of the games to the Switch.
Sunshine Anthology. All right, so back in 2020 when we launched, Fossil Games put out a Kickstarter for Sunshine Manor, and we talked with them about doing the physical version, but they had previously, Sunshine Manor is a sequel to a game called Camp Sunshine, and we said, well, if we're going to do the physical, we want to do a 2-pack. We want both games because that's preservation, that's the complete version. We want people to get that, and they agreed. And I said, yeah, let's do that. And so we signed the contract and we did a Kickstarter version. As part of the Kickstarter, we didn't collect any money. That was 100% through Fossil Games and the Kickstarter. They did that back in 2020. It was a successful Kickstarter. They developed Sunshine Manor. Sunshine Manor came out on Steam, got great reviews. Camp Sunshine's on Steam, and then the porting process. So we did talk about it during our second Direct, or Series 2 Direct, because it was still on the backer kit, and it actually closed backer kit the same time Series 2 closed. We talked about it again in the Series 3 Direct, the Series 4 Direct, and again now for the Fall Direct. Like every Direct, I'm finding myself having to write a spot to call Paul of Fossil Games to come on to give an update because people keep asking us for this game, and naturally so, because it's amazing and people want this. And right now it's in the porters' hands. So the porters are working, and Camp Sunshine is an older game, so the coding, like the way it was coded, is more difficult to port. So they're still porting it, and we will not put our version, because we're going to do a different version than the Kickstarter version, but we will not put our version on the website for pre-order until it is ported and done. We're not going to take money because we don't feel that's right. However, we reserved the number 13 for it because, 13, spooky, let's go with it.
Yeah.
So we expected, because at that point we only had, a couple games signed. We're like, oh, well, this will be done by the time we get to 13. So now we have Love 3, which is number 11, and Eagle Island Twist, which is actually number 12. And then we go to They Bleed Pixels and Raji, which are actually 14 and 15. We have to skip 13 because we reserved it for Sunshine, and it's still not out.
It's like hotels. They just skip the 13th floor.
Yeah, except we're skipping it because there's something taking its spot. It's just, so whenever it comes out, whatever part or whatever series it's a part of, it will still get the number 13. So it could be 13 and 16, it could be 13 and 20, it could be 13 and 30. Who knows at this point? All I know is, we really want to announce it to everybody. We really want to put it up for pre-order. But we just refuse to take money until, because anything that goes up for pre-order with us, it has to pass lot check. We have to send the game and submit it to Nintendo or Sony. It has to pass lot check before, because we learned Super Blood Hockey was put up for pre-order before it passed lot check, and that took 2 months to get through lot check because they kept finding bugs and errors, and people were like, where's our game? And we're like, oh, it's not past lot check yet.
Yeah.
So we learned, those are growing pains when you start a company. So we've learned, so we will not put anything up until it passes lot check, and obviously it needs to be ported before it could pass Nintendo's lot check. So if you're waiting on it, we thank you for your patience. It's out of our hands. We're trying to be patient too. But if you gave money to the Kickstarter, we thank you, but that all went to Fossil. None of that went to us. And we're just absolutely waiting to be able to put it up. And when we do, it's been ported and it passed lot check, so we're good to go. And I look forward to that Direct.
Well, I know we're not Classic Gaming Brothers if we don't ask this question. I know you really can't say too much, but any hints at the future that you can give us? Again, I know you can't like out and say, oh, here's the 10 games that we have lined up for the next 20 years. But what's coming? I guess what can you tell us?
What can I tell? I can tell you that the next presentation we're going to be doing will be on PlayStation. I can tell you that we're still going, even though we're adding PlayStation to the mix, we're still going slowly. We absolutely do not want to flood the market with releases. We do know that there's people that collect all our games, and collecting games is expensive, and we want people to feel that they are able to afford a full set. Like, we always set out to go slowly because we're small. Games are expensive, so we want to go slowly. And the other thing is we want to give all the developers the time in the spotlight. So like right now, the main focus we're talking about is Love 3 and Eagle Eye and Twist. We want to give Fred Wood, we want to give Pixelnix the respect, and we'll mention Raji, and we'll mention They Bleed, and we'll give Spooky Squid and Nodding Head Games their time as well, because we really want them to get that attention. When we just covering games media, I don't know if you paid attention to E3 2021 when they came back for the one in between year. And it was all digital, and it was like, here's this showcase, and it was just trailer, 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 trailer. And some of those trailers were great, like it was like the indie trailers and stuff. But then if you said, "Oh, what did you think of this game?" What game? I forgot already, because you don't have time to digest.
Yeah, it's like watching like a game ranks video or something like that. Just like at the end, you're like, I don't even know what I watched.
Exactly. And that's why, like, when we do the directs, we go slowly. We talk about each game. We express about each game. We don't want to flood you with information. We break them up with like the updates and stuff. So you still have some process of the games we announce. And that's our goal. We want things to be memorable, and we want to go slowly. So we're still doing that. With PlayStation, we're doing that. With Switch, we're doing that. So the next thing was going to be PlayStation. We still have more NES titles to come. We still have more books to come. Switch Collector 2.2 or Volume 2.2 Abridged is on Kickstarter right now, at least at the time of this recording. A lot of people have been asking for it. It's abridged so that we can get them at least out quicker. Tristan, who did the Video Game Collector Field Guide, which is an amazing book that's available on our website now, he's got another follow-up. That's 3 books in one. The thing is freaking massive. The guy's insane. So we'll have that coming soon as well. So there's a lot. And of course, the Switch. If you're like, oh, what about Switch? Our Switch lineup is amazing. And I can't wait. 2023 looks to be better than 2022. And 2022, in my opinion, it was just a banger of a year, just between all the releases that we put out and all the releases that we announced. We are always looking for amazing developers, which is why we always ask for suggestions from people, because we can't see it all. Our goal is just to find some fantastic games that deserve the physical treatment, provide the developers their physical dream game, reintroduce sometimes or remind you of these great games that came out digitally, let them be out in physical form, let them be preserved in the most complete way possible. And that's just our goal. And the best part about the community is just working with all these other developers, publishers, whether they be physical publishers or digital publishers. We don't care. We'll work with anyone, and we love everybody in the community and everybody in the industry. And we want everybody to succeed, because this industry as a whole has room for everybody.
Awesome. I guess so. To let everyone know, when is Love 3 and Eagle Island ending, and when is there an exact date on when the second half of Series 5 is going to be launched?
So right now, Eagle Island Twist and Love 3 we're ending on the November 6th. You have 4 days at the time when this goes live. Please go there. Make sure to get those. For the second half, it's not announced as of the time of this recording, but it should be announced by the time this goes live. At least the tentative I could say right now. And if it's changed, that's because something changed between now and the time this goes live. But the tentative is November 15th for Raji and for They Bleed Pixels to go up onto the website. And again, those will get a 30-day pre-order window. All of our games are open pre-order. I know we're not a limited company. We will reorder. We reordered for Robot Named Fight to do the Steelbook. We're in talks right now to do reorders for like Phoenotopia Awakening and Cathedral, because our goal is just to let people play these amazing games.
Yeah.
So
right.
we're not about FOMO. We're not about scarcity. That's why we do the open pre-orders. Scalpers hate us probably because we make things available, and that's fine. We want them to be available. So we don't want people to go, like, oh, it goes live, I better immediately pre-order it the second or I'm going to miss out. No, you've got the 30 days. I like to pre-order things right away just so I don't forget about them. We've noticed, and this is statistically, the first day and the last day of a pre-order window are the busiest days. The people who get there right away, and the people who go, oh crap, I better grab it before I miss out. And we do all our pre-orders come with the free dog tag. That is just our way of saying thank you you. So if you pre-order it on the webpage, you will get the dog tag as just a bonus. If you say, I don't need this dog tag, even though it fits in the case, and you throw it in the garbage, that's your choice. We're just giving it away for free. But hopefully you do enjoy it, because a lot of people do like the dog tags. They're like tactile feel, and they're not cheap. They're not like a sticker.
They're
They're
nice.
printed in. And we do that just because we love our fans and we love our supporters and we love these games, and we wanted to do something extra just to say thank you.
Well, with that, we want to, of course, thank Barry for joining us once again for the inaugural episode of the Premium Edition Lounge.
the inaugural.
Barry, where can people find you and find Premium Edition game stuff?
So you can find me on Twitter. You can find me at Hawk Hellfire. So feel free to follow, send me a DM. I'm always up for chatting video games. You could also find me on the Premium Edition Games Discord. So please join us over there. We're always chatting, and it's a great place for you to suggest releases. And I'm always in the support email. Should you have any issue, I will do my best to take care of you. You can find Premium Edition Games at premiumeditiongames.com, where you could pre-order those games right now and order some of the in-stock games like Pigeon Dev, Cathedral, Phoenotopia, Mighty Fight, and you can also find us on Twitter at Premium Edition 1, the numerical 1, and everywhere else on social media at Premium Edition Games.
For us, you can find us on Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook, which will be at Classic Gaming Brothers. You can find us on Twitter at CG Brothers Pod. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can email us at classicgamingbrothers@gmail.com. So if you want to reach out to Barry, but you're too scared to email him, you can just email us, and we'll reach out to him for you. Stay tuned, because we will be going live on Twitch for 24 hours on the 11th to the 12th, and we will be playing video games for charity. It's always great. So then, you come by the stream, donate to sick children, and enjoy our antics that get crazier as the night wanes on. Zach, am I missing anything?
Don't play games like my brother.
And don't play games like my brother.
And don't play games like me.
I've been Zach.
And I've been Seth.
And I've been Barry.
And we've been the Classic Gaming Brothers and Barry.
Barry. That's
right.
right.